My name is Julie. I stood in front of the glass, walled mansion, watching the chaos unfold inside. Cameras were everywhere, and my family members' faces were a mix of shock and panic. I took a deep breath and walked in, dressed in a white power suit, with Mr. Thompson trailing behind me. The room fell silent as I sat in the CEO's chair and stared into the camera. "Hello, I'm the investor," I declared calmly. The panic that ensued was almost comical. Little did they know that their empire was about to crumble. Mr. Thompson then revealed the truth. "She owns the formula, the patent, and the trademark. As an independent contractor, she never assigned the rights. The license is revoked. The company is closed," he said firmly. Their shocked expressions were priceless. And then I delivered the final blow. "I also own the mortgage. You're in default, and you have 30 days to vacate." As I walked out, leaving them to pick up the pieces, I couldn't help but think about how I got here. It all started in this very mansion, a place that was supposed to be home, but felt more like a prison. My family is part of a well-to-do business family in Chicago. My mother, Victoria, is a cold, calculating woman. She's all about the bottom line and has no qualms about stepping on others to get what she wants. My younger sister, Lily, is 22 and the public face of our family's beauty brand. She's shallow and vain, always ready to take credit for something she didn't do. And my brother, Ryan, is our useless operational manager. He's more interested in his own pleasure than the success of the business. They always saw me as nothing more than the packer. I was the girl with the so-called chemical burns on my hands, taping up boxes day in and day out. One day, I watched as Lily stood under the studio lights during a live stream, holding a jar of our best-selling cream like it was the most precious thing in the world. She smiled at the camera and said, "People always ask me how I came up with this formula. It just came to me in a dream. I spent weeks in my private lab perfecting it." It was a blatant lie. She had never been inside a lab, and I was the one who had spent countless sleepless nights working on that formula in the hot, stuffy garage while they enjoyed the air-conditioned comfort of the mansion upstairs. Ryan laughed off camera and said, "Don't worry about shipping, folks. We've got our packing staff working double time." Lily then giggled and added, "Oh, right. My sister Julie is down there somewhere. She's not creative like us. We just let her pack to keep her busy. It's better if she stays out of sight." The comments were filled with mocking emojis. They thought they were so clever, but they had no idea that I held the key to their downfall. In my pocket, hidden in a cheap wallet, was a tax document from years ago. This single piece of paper proved that I wasn't just the packer, I was the true owner of the company. My troubles with my family started when I was a young teenager. I had been sick for a long time, dealing with terrible pain and irregular health issues. Victoria was too stingy to put me on the family's premium health insurance. Instead, she took me to a free clinic on the outskirts of the city. The doctor was kind and told us I had a hormonal imbalance that could be easily managed with medication. But Victoria heard only one thing: cost. On the way home, she looked at me with disgust and said, "You're a burden. This is a sign of your weakness. Take these pills to hide your shame and don't ever embarrass the family." From that day on, I felt like a damaged person, unworthy of their love and respect. When I graduated high school, I wanted to go to college to study chemistry. Victoria laughed at me and said, "I need you in the lab." She sat me down at the dining table and slid a contract in front of me. "You're an adult now. We need to formalize this. You'll work as an independent contractor. No health insurance. Sign it or leave." I was terrified of the outside world and my own health problems, so I signed. What she didn't know was that by making me an independent contractor without a proper rights assignment, she had accidentally given me ownership of the formula I created. She was so focused on saving a little money that she didn't read the fine print. One evening, after the live stream ended, I was hungry. I went to the kitchen, where the remnants of their fancy dinner were still on the table. I reached for a piece of steak, but Ryan slapped my hand away. "This is prime beef. We don't waste it on you. Go eat instant noodles in the garage. You stink." Victoria walked in and just wrinkled her nose. He's right. Go downstairs before you ruin the furniture. We have guests coming. I was used to their cruelty. Over the years, I had normalized their abuse, thinking that if I worked hard enough, they would eventually see my worth. But that night, watching a dog eat better than me, something inside me snapped. I used a small part of my lottery winnings to hire a makeup artist from New York. He spent hours creating a fake chemical burn on my hand. It looked so real, like something out of a horror movie. I drove back to the mansion, clutching my fake, injured hand and moaning in pain. They were in the living room, discussing the final details of the acquisition deal for the company. I stumbled in and fell to my knees.
Mom.
Help me. The new solvent burned my hand. The doctor says it's gangrene. I need $5,000 for surgery or I'll die. Lily shrieked and ran away, covering her face. Ryan just scoffed and said, I'm saving for a new car. Why didn't you save your money? Victoria hesitated, then said, We're 48 hours away from the biggest deal of our lives. I can't withdraw the money. It might trigger an audit. Maybe you should just let them amputate. A prosthetic is cheaper. She then threw a crumpled $5 bill and a bottle of painkillers at me and told me to get back to work. That was the moment I knew I had to take action. She then pulled out an intellectual property transfer document and said, Sign this. It says any work you did in the garage belongs to the company. It's just a formality. Sign it, and I'll give you $500. I looked at her and saw how desperate she was. I took the pen and signed without reading. The paper meant nothing. Coercion would make it invalid in court. She dropped the cash on the table and told me to leave. Once outside, I peeled off the fake injury. My hand was fine. I called Mr. Thompson. They're going ahead with the sale tomorrow. He said, Good. The mortgage is in default. We'll buy it tonight. And now, here I am, watching their empire fall apart. I dropped my old rubber gloves in the trash and got into my car. For the first time in my life, I'm free. I'm no longer surviving under their control. I'm in the driver's seat.